Okay, back in the zone, and we got to talk about our health, as we usually do. A new medical approach looking at how excess body fat affects the body rather than relying on body mass index or BMI. We've got Dr. Mina Merhome with us. Okay, so what exactly does this mean? Because now I'm confused. I've always gone by like BMI. You got to have like, this is generalization, 25, whatever. That's what the medium, right?
Something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. We should not talk about our BMIs. But Dr. Mina, what's the latest here?
Yeah, sure. Marina, well, this is a result of a study that was looked at for the past 5 years out of Lancet. They looked and saw that BMI is helpful, but it's not the complete picture. And they wanted to reclassify this as clinical obesity and preclinical obesity. Because what we're seeing is for something that affects 1/8 of the world, we want to be very precise around how to measure this. And we want to look at one specific thing in addition to just the fat distribution around the body, but also ultimately, most importantly, is how this impacts the organs of the body. And that's the part that's being added here in clinical obesity.
Oh,
okay. What are they finding? Are they finding that any organ is more affected by extra fat than others? And what should we know?
Well, Joe, that's the thing, is that the more we learn about obesity, the more we're realizing it's not just a symptom of, oh, hey, we have a little bit more weight on us, but rather this is an entire syndrome in and of itself, impacting every single one of our organs. This is part of the reason why we got so excited that for the first time in a decade, obesity rates are now starting to trend in the other direction and actually go down. Because this is impacting our cardiovascular health, our cognition. Every single system of the body is impacted by this additional adipose or fat ratio that's happening around. And that's why this is helping us have the conversation in a more nuanced way.
You said cognition? Obesity can affect your cognition?
Well, that's the part that we get more and more data on, is that every single part of the body, whether it's the way that you think, the way that you move, all of these are impacted by obesity. And that's why we're seeing one of the ways that we can reduce dementia risk is actually the more that we're able to move, the better shape that we're in, the sharper that we can be, not just physically. And this is one of the reasons why I'm not worried about Jaden Daniels. His cognition is going to be just fine.
Oh, yeah. No kidding.
Oh, I'm going to do some squats. Hold on a second.
Listen, I have a weight that tells you like your vascular age. Supposedly, I get razzed around these parts. I come in, I'm like, I'm feeling 31 today. It says I'm 30.
I don't even want to sit.
I think you can't just look at one metric and then decide your overall health based on that. I think there's many components, and there's a lot of skinny people out here. They say skinny fat, right? Because maybe they're not eating right. They're not. So much more to see. Good to see at least into the spotlight. Really quickly, do we think that the semaglutides and all these things are helping drive the obesity rates down?
We definitely do think so, in two ways. One is the actual availability of the medication, and two is the raising of the conversation. Folks are realizing now that when you look better, you feel better, and that decrease in obesity rate has a lot of long-term implications. So we're seeing a lot of benefit there.
Okay, some good news there, Dr. Mina. Thank you for that update. We appreciate it. All right, when we come back, we're talking about the Arctic air, the Arctic chill out there. Joe loves so much. He says he got a...
Perfect. Thank you, Dr. Mina.
That's positive.
Yeah, man.